Hello, everybody, and welcome to our review of
Hello,
Swizz Beatz' Poison album. My name is HSR.
My name is Chris Chrome.
And this is Headspace Podcast, episode 100,
Part
3, which might make it episode 102. But no, it's episode 100, part 3 officially.
Because it's your birthday and we made 3 parts. And
while it's not my birthday while you're watching this anymore, today on November 3rd, it's now 5 p.m. as we are recording our 3rd album review today. Because episode 100 is a big fucking deal.
It is. Like, I was actually really happy that
we've 3-figured that shit on one of our shows, and we'll have 2 more episode 100s coming soon at some point. Anyway, before you can check the description of the video to see when it all starts, all goodness. For those of you who are new here, we are just regular people who go through our albums, or these albums, track by track. We give our thoughts, our opinions, what stood out to us, what we thought was interesting, all that good stuff. Normally we do our favorite comment of last week's video, but we did that in part 1 when we spoke about Currency. And on top of Currency, it was Freddie Gibson. On top of that, it was The Alchemist, and it was their album, Fetty. And then we also spoke about, for part 2, Vince Staples' FM exclamation point. So you can check those out instead of a favorite comment of last week. Anyway, I answer everybody in the comments. To me, it's my favorite part. I want it to be like a discussion. If we say stupid shit, you can educate us, tell us your stories, when you first encountered these artists, all that good shit. Also want to give some love to our patrons, Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Super Old School 1994, and Lindell Williams. They support us. We'll talk a bit about that at the end. So without wasting any time, because we have been recording for a while, why don't we just get into it today? And now, Chris, please reintroduce the album that we will be speaking about.
So for this week's Headspace episode 100 part 3 album review, we went with Swizz Beatz' new album, Poison.
That's true. We decided to go with that. And basically, there wasn't like anybody that released in what I'm going to call a full-length project. This was the longest one with 10 songs and 33 minutes. But, like, everything seemed little, so we put 3 little album reviews instead of 1 normal-sized one.
Although I do like the Swizz Beatz projects, though. I like, I kind of look at it as like a DJ Khaled project.
That's a great way to look at it.
In way of, like, it's kind of like a playlist. It's a mashup of a lot of great artists that you, I
have a thought on that, actually. I don't know if, I think for DJ Khaled, it really is, at this point, a playlist of the hottest names he can put together on a song.
Right.
It's not about what sounds good. It's about having, like, people on songs that no one else can get together. And that's what Khaled is going for. DJ Khaled, not Khaled.
I'm not trying to say that they're the same thing. I'm just saying, like, when I look at a Swizz Beat, because I also know that Swizz
he's the beat
Beatz
maker.
Exactly.
He's a producer.
I don't really expect him to be the rapper.
But, like, I wasn't expecting him to be a rapper, no. But the difference, I think, between DJ Khaled and Swizz Beatz is there are a lot of songs that Swizz Beatz has done the beat for that I fucking love. Like, we've been doing the Classic Quest podcast where we go through classic albums. Hell, we're going to be talking about one tomorrow that Swizz Beatz did a fucking beat on off of Remy Ma's 2006 album, and it's fucking hype. And it's almost like Swizz Beatz does a song, and for me, something lights up, and I fucking love it. And it might have to do with the fact that one of my introductions to rap, in the end of the day, is a combination of Earl Simmons and Swizz Beatz doing all of their great shit that they did in the early 2000s. So, like, that to me is like the golden sound when he, like, hits it proper.
Right.
So for me, I was just stoked to listen to Swizz Beatz' production. But I have some thoughts about the approach he took, which I think we can get to as we talk about the album a little bit. But I think the main difference between DJ Khaled and Swizz Beatz is you know what the fuck a Swizz Beatz production sounds like. He's got a sound he's been developing for like 20 plus years.
Right.
Whereas DJ Khaled is specifically like a name. We the best. You know you're going to get, like, obnoxious DJ Khaled shit. But otherwise, what the fuck does DJ Khaled sound like? I don't know. Whatever the fuck's trendy. You know?
Like Pokemon is new now.
Yeah.
I feel like he sounds like a Pokemon just yelling his name on every track.
That's completely fair.
But the only thing I wanted, because I just wanted to just make that point, was I was really excited for this project because I did see the track list. I did see all the featured artists on this, and I think I prefer a lot of albums like these types because it doesn't force me to listen to the same person for a lengthy period of time. As much as I do enjoy that,
Chris
I like
gets bored by track 17 every single fucking time.
Yeah, I do. And I like
that's being generous.
These types of like variations that we get from these type of albums.
I just thought it was cool because as far as producers go, if I had to pick my favorite producer of all time, it might be Swizz Beatz. He might be my favorite. That or Ant from Rhymesayers. These guys are like up there, but they're very different. Anyway, as far as hype shit goes, it's Swizz Beatz. Uproar, favorite beat off of fucking the last Lil Wayne project. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Poison, the title. It's all cap letters. I didn't have a lot of thoughts on that. I honestly overlooked it. I was distracted by this cover, which has a lot of black people killing or hurting a lot of white people, a lot of white women or something.
I don't think it's supposed to be black people. I think it's like demons, sinful creatures. I get like they are literally black people, but I don't think it's like the race or the culture. I think it's like just sinful people, criminals.
That looks like the White House or something. It looks like maybe a Trump figure blowing its head out.
Could be.
I mean, it's pretty, like, charged, right? Like, this is not a safe album cover. It's all red, so you don't really see a lot of it at first. But when you really look at it, there's a lot of violence happening. It reminds me of, Spartacus, I think is the show, the Rome show, where, like, the gladiators and shit, and those violent, like, destruction, rape, pillage scenes that would be going on at, like, a villa like that. Like, it just seems like straight out of that. Because, look, like, all of these black figures like are killing these white figures savagely.
But I feel like, again, and if we think about the black figures being like demons or sins or stuff, these look like rich people. These look like rich and I feel like maybe there's like certain activities that these people have done and now they're paying for it, and they're just it's like maybe they have certain vices, certain addictions that are caused as poisons. Like poison itself is such a very powerful word because it can mean so many things.
I don't disagree with anything you just said. I just don't think the color choices were insignificant. That's all I'm trying to say. But it is a very riveting fucking album cover. It's one of the cooler ones we've seen for what it is. It made me, because you don't notice it at first. At first you just look at it quickly. I'm like, whatever. Then when you really look at it, it's got a lot happening. I just wanted to bring some attention to that.
Absolutely.
Anyway, do you have any more thoughts on this?
Nah, man. I'm ready to do this. Let's go.
All right, let's talk about the Poison intro.
Fit the switch on my midbrain, manifesting this prescription quick. Epileptic overdose.
Hey, warning, I've been a little sick, so if I've been coffee and stuff, my bad. Anyway, this song features Aine Zion. I don't actually know how to pronounce that. And she's like a poet of sorts.
Comes in slam poetry,
and like it's got this like solemn beat and just kind of presents, I guess, like the album in a more grandiose theatrical kind of way. She rhymes a little bit, like I fasted for 30 days, no question of where was home. Darkness followed me, I shepherd on. I can't unsee the thing that'll make you run, but fear no man. The real recognize how I stand strong. With the hood in my heart and hip-hop on my sleeve and 25 soldiers multiplied, always strapped, we march on. That's a reference to 25 Soldiers, if you heard the track. And you got the sense of him, like, being a little bit rugged, standing there. You can almost picture, like, desert and shit, blowing in the winds, and then Swizz Beatz standing there with his turntables and shit, ready to, like, mix the party into, like, whatever. But really, he is a relevant and pure form part of the culture, and he's something that people can respect, and he's a legitimate dude, you know?
I picture it as, like, him going on, like, this, like, soul-searching type of journey. Like the whole fasting, it's kind of like I feel like he's taken a moment to step away from the real world and kind of just try to figure out, or like his world, and try to figure out like what's going on.
Yeah, because in the next
him,
part,
right?
it's like I flipped the script and flipped the switch on my midway, manifesting a prescription quick, epileptic overdose, headbanging lyrical fit. So it's almost like inside of himself, he looks for the deepest challenges, ways to flip shit up and come up with new things that are just so fucking crazy. Nobody else can fuck with him. Nobody else can come into him and attack to him or come at him. You know, this is your awakening. It's time to show that you're the side effects. From Tottenham to the Bronx and beyond, all this shit is poison.
Right.
And it's, I don't know. I think it's kind of like maybe commenting on how music is poison, or
again, there's many things it could be commenting on. I did kind of have this theory where like the first song is also setting up the context of the rest of the album and the rest of the songs itself. I kind of feel like there's a part that like, and I'm pretty sure it's in this one, where Swizz Beatz is kind of like shouting out like from the Bronx to New York to this to that, and he's kind of just jumping around. And I feel like we're kind of getting this idea that we're gonna get a lot of poison in a sense from different cities, different major artists from different cities, different type of experiences, and kind of like everybody's going to be putting their city on the map is what I'm kind of get here. They all like I feel like this song is kind of speaking for rappers in a sense of like taking the time to disconnect and just find themselves, kind of find the next challenge, find the thing, and then come back with a bang and experience. Because given the album cover, given the album title, I feel like there's going to be a lot of darkness on this album. I'm not saying like suicidal. I'm not saying it's talking about, you know, suicide or drug addiction or not, but I'm saying like it's going to deal with, there doesn't seem to be a lot of actual positivity so far, like happy-go-lucky unicorn positivity.
Nah, it's going to be more like real shit, where they're from, the environment type stuff.
Right.
This has not been like a happy weekend for albums. This is our third dark album that we're going to be talking about in a row here. I liked it, though. I think it really does its job well to set up the context of the album. I gave this a 4.35.
I gave it a 4.2.
Because I like it. I like it more than I don't know. I'm trying to find more specific grades, so I'm not just giving the same shit every time. But I like this one a fair bit. It sets it up nicely. Why don't we move on and talk about the next track, which is Pistol on My Side, or P.O.M.S, P.O.M.S.
Eyes looking like Konnichiwa. Swizzy on the beat, I'ma beat it like Policia.
So at first I was kind of sad this wasn't like Uproar 2, and then I got over myself. Because I really liked the beat on Uproar. That was some hype ass shit. So it comes in and Swizz Beatz does his intro, and he's like, let's pray for the people we just lost. Goddamn, say woo whoa. So that's a good point to what Chris's point was on the main theme. Like, the themes on this album are going to be different poisons and different negative shits that maybe exist in the culture. Maybe. Then Lil Wayne starts rapping. And right away I realized I don't give a shit what Wayne has to say. Like,
I want to speak about it for a quick second. I like how Wayne is contextualizing the fact of having a pistol on his side. That okay, so Wayne goes, pistol on my side, something, something, something. Pistol on my side, something, something, something. And that's pretty much the gist of what the entire song is going to sound like. But what I came to notice for myself was on the first verse, Wayne goes, dripping Evian Fiji, I'm a water slide. Pockets fatter than a greedy on a diet. Nina at my side, but she said you can call her 9. And it kind of gives you this context of like, Wayne's rich. People want what he has. He's got to protect himself. He's dripping in jewelry. He's got the diamonds. He needs to stay protected. So I feel like the first verse is kind of Wayne given the paranoia of like what his kind of life is now and whatnot. Move through to the second verse. I like how he goes. At one point, he goes, "Pistol on my side, you don't want it. You don't want that thing to scream at you. Laughing when you die, boy. My pistol, a comedian. Pistol on my side. Now he lying to the media, and it's like you get kind of the other side where Weezy is now in control. He's the one running around with the gun, getting the money, getting the this, getting that, and if you fuck around, he'll shoot you and all this stuff. And I feel like there's supposed to be this division between both verses, kind of emphasizing why maybe rappers or certain people from the culture, the area, the general scheme of things, have to have a gun on them. And he's kind of like validating the different reasons why himself would have a pistol on his side.
Sure.
That's what I took.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I felt like Lil Wayne was kind of fluff on this track, to be honest. I feel like Lil Wayne's rap, not that Lil Wayne's bars weren't proper, but it was very repetitive. It was very fine. It wasn't very deep. But on the other hand, the chemistry between like the beat and Wayne was insane. And when I was really listening to this, I realized that Swizz Beatz was trying to floss here he put some sounds under Wayne that like I don't think are the normal sounds you would kind of expect on Wayne. Sure, there was the marchy beat, but look at that second verse, how he adds that like kind of weird piano beat and stuff. It almost sounds like he had Wayne lay down the vocals over like drums, and then he built out the most creative instrumental he could lay down under this Wayne beat. So while you were sitting there worrying about Lil Wayne, I was like, you know what? This is a Swizz Beatz project. The rapping part, sure, if there's something super interesting like Pusha T, we can talk about it. But like,
I love how you just name drop him. Like out of all the rappers on this album, like Pusha T.
Yeah, he's the most interesting one, I think, maybe. I might be wrong. But like Pusha T was interesting in terms of like themes that he brought up on the songs. Alternatively, Wayne just kind of rapped and did his thing. I think you even quoted anything significant. I'm not going to say it's like anything bad, but like, that bitch Moody, you may leave a message, pill to his chest, give him 3 presses, pistol in my brief so you don't want to get this brief message.
Hey.
I mean, all things considered, it's fine. It's very Lil Wayne, but like I came for the Swizz. I didn't actually come for the Wayne. I like the way they sound together. But, like, I'm putting this on to bump to, like, fucking Swizz's production and seeing what he can do with other people. And then I realized it's not about – because I saw people were mad at the K-Dot feature. But, like, it's not about what Wayne can do on the Swizz beat. It's about what Swizz can do to the Wayne vocals.
Yeah.
And that is what I thought was really fucking great. And on that regard –
I see that.
I thought that the product – because Uproar was kind of about making Wayne sound great and Swizz just laid the beat down. I don't feel like that was the intent here. I feel like Swizz was flossing like a motherfucker with tricky shit on the beat and changing it up and stuff. I loved what he did, and I gave it a 4.75. Couldn't care less about Wayne on this one, to be fair. It's fine. He sounded great. He sounded like what rappers do when they fuck with Steve Aoki. It's not really about the rapping at that point. It's about the package. Anyway, that's about enough of that. Let's come again. I guess you can't say thank you, come again anymore, because that might be getting you in trouble.
Man Street Duppy, I'm a ghost star. Man Street Poppies in a loaf.
You got Swizz Beatz, and you got Giggs. I mean, what else could you want? Giggs is cool because he like took a screenshot of us and put it on his Instagram, and then his fan base laughed at us like we were dumb because it was
when
out
we
of
reviewed Walk
context.
to Them.
Yeah. So we know who Giggs is.
He clearly knows who we are.
I mean, he's heard of us, evidently. I'm not trying to floss here, but I mean, like the 6 people who've ever shared us, Giggs was one of them.
Yeah.
That video got a lot of views out of nowhere, and people saying, Giggs put you on blast. Anyway, you didn't care about that, but still. Let's talk about my favorite fucking Giggs lyrics right here. You know what it is? Stroking the pussy, I'm a stroker. Give me the pussy like a brochure. You just wouldn't hear dudes over on this side of the pond saying shit like that and having it work, but when Giggs says it works. I don't really understand how to like analyze Giggs from like the same perspective as our side of hip hop because it's very different, but it sounds really fucking cool. Like he can say shit like man straight boss it, I'm a Sosa, man straight poppin', I'm a toaster, man straight duppy, I'm a ghoster, man straight poppies, I'm the loafer. I don't know why that sounds amazing. It just fucking does.
Because what he's saying is, so man straight duppy, I'm a ghoster. He's calling whoever a duppy, which is something.
I get what he's saying and that he's flossing. He's basically like, I'm legit, you're not.
Right.
And I get that. But like, let's say like, we had taken some other dude, like Vince Staples had done, although Vince Staples could pull it off. Let's pick another example. Let's say,
Wait, who made the Duppy freestyle? Wasn't that Drake?
Yeah. A random-ass rapper came at it and tried to, like, say that same line. They could never deliver it in a way that would be so interesting as the way Giggs did it. Giggs' voice is so fucking good.
Yeah, Giggs has that voice that, like, there's something with that heavy rawness to his voice that is just so cool.
And then the beat's okay. It's not – this is maybe one of my least favorite beats on the album. I feel like Swizz was trying to fuck with his UK vibes and show that he could mess around with a UK artist and floss in that regard.
Right.
And on a tape trying to show off your versatility, unlike trying to just get names, showing you can fuck with different sounds and make them your own and stuff, I feel like he accomplishes that goal very well. I feel like Giggs is fun to listen to, but I can't really connect to this song in any meaningful way. It's just kind of a fun song to throw on and listen to and, you know, bang out the lines you can remember when you're singing along.
Well, if you really just read the lyrics, he kind of says the same shit throughout the entire song. He basically goes, I'm better than you. I'm getting this girl, and I smoke weed. And he just found different ways to say it within the entire verse. It's dope. It's super cool. I like the sound of it. I like what it is. But again, in consideration to taking like Poison and the name of the album and kind of like what I feel Swizz Beatz is trying to do, I feel like we're getting the side of the London side. We're getting the UK vibe. We're getting this is kind of how we run on our side of the pond, if you want to say it. So
I like saying the pond.
It's cool. Like it's cool that not only to see that Swizz Beatz is fucking with UK vibes, it's cool to see that we went to different, we got like different type of sectors, different type of places, and they still sound and mesh very well in a project. It's great. Like, I never thought Gigs would follow up next to Wayne.
I figured it would sound good. It just does, because Swizz Beatz is dope. Anyway, the next one is the infamous Kendrick Lamar feature on Something...
I gave that a 4.2, by the way.
Sorry, Something Dirty / Pick Got Us.
I'm from Yonkers, had to learn to conquer my fears in the foreign, had to learn to conquer.
So the only stuff I saw about this album floating around in my limited social media sphere is, oh, the Kendrick Lamar song wasn't living up to expectations because K-Dot wasn't dope or anything. And when I got to this song and I saw Jadakiss and Styles P, I was like, wait. We got a Locks track with like K-Dot on the chorus? What is wrong with y'all? How are y'all hating on this? This is a dope idea. We don't necessarily need to have Kendrick Lamar doing verses on everything. Sometimes having Jadakiss and Styles P is just as fucking good as having Kendrick Lamar.
Especially when both of their voices really like mesh together nicely. Like, I like how Jadakiss has his kind of raspy sound, and then Styles P comes in with that different tone, and they jump off of each other. The whole song is kind of composed in the Locks, Jadakiss and Styles P going back and forth, kind of finishing each other's lines, and it's really dope. It's really cool. One thing I kind of noticed, I feel like Styles P and Jadakiss are playing two different roles. Them bullets hit him in his blood and flesh, flew in the air. We put that work on commercial. We flew in the leer. I lift bar and weights, then I'm doing the stairs. They should say the Lord only knows what I do to my peers. But it's between Jadakiss and Styles P who are saying that, and I feel like one side is kind of like the gangster side, the other side is kind of like, I'm out of the game and this is what I'm doing now, and they're kind of showing that contrast between both in the group, which was really cool. Kick drum, yeah. It's attended to the snare. I turn the gat on the back, then I'm cracking veneers. You stagnated on block trapping for weirs. I'm in the mansion upstate, out back with the deers. Again, it's kind of like contrasting between this is what y'all are doing on the streets, on the block, doing your whole hustle, and I'm over here finally successful, making my money. I got a backyard full of deers. Like, he's living the good life, and it was really, really cool to get that kind of contrast. What I did appreciate for the Kendrick feature, I like how Kendrick didn't do a generic chorus. It was like this very outspoken, energetic, like, back up, somebody got shot, we need to take care of this, kind of like the troop, like, you kind of fucked around, now my crew's gonna have to go wild type stuff. It was completely different than just what you may have expected from your...
I think everyone's expectations were subverted on that. Just having Kendrick having the minimal role on the chorus and having the other two take on the more main role. I don't know if I find that they were playing different roles per se, so much as they were just bouncing off of each other. Right. I think that a lot of what you said does describe the gist of the song. The only thing I'm not 100% sold on is that they were contrasting. I felt they just complemented what they were saying the whole way through. But yeah, just kind of some real shit. It makes me want to go review that Locks first album there, because we still haven't gotten around to talking about that yet. But I feel like Swizz Beatz came out with a really nice, grimy sounding beat for these dudes. It came in proper, and I agree with you. Kendrick has like this flair on the chorus, like that I'll do you something dirty kind of feel to it. Like, you get the feeling like Kendrick's about to snap and come at you in a very believable and interesting way. And I love the back and forth, as you pointed on the beat, on the verses. That, to me, having those two go back and forth, line to line like that, created a better sonic experience than I think Kendrick Lamar would have done with like 17 fucking vocal effects.
I agree 100%. I think Kendrick having a small minimal part on the song with just the chorus and being able to do his like different tone voice thing and his extra over dramatic stuff that he does is great, because I think that it would have drowned out the song if he had a whole verse exactly doing the 17 different voices, the changing the speeds and all the weird shit he does, which is fantastic. Like I love Kendrick for that.
It makes sense in context, but like I just think that I'd rather listen to Jadakiss and Styles P go back and forth on a verse and have Kendrick do kind of more of that chorus role. I don't know, just on it. I mean, I would like to hear Kendrick just go ham on a Swizz Beatz verse. Don't get me wrong. That's not something I don't want to hear, but I kind of like the lineup. And from like a DJ Khaled perspective, it's a pretty sick lineup. Like, it takes a certain amount of artistry to be able to get those two on the verses, get Kendrick on the hook, and make it turn into a fucking banger. I enjoyed that. I really thought it was fun to listen to. And I think Swizz Beatz has one of those magic touches that turns it into a banger. I don't know. Maybe y'all don't agree with me. I know the internet doesn't seem to be happy with this song. I don't get it. I think it's pretty great.
What'd you give it?
I give it a 4.5 on 5. I think it's a pretty cool song. Anyway, I guess
did it at a 4.
That's fine. We can continue to preach to the people.
Just to cop something outrageous. Yeah, we got parents, but the drug dealers raises. Shit, I pray to God.
I think it's pretty cool how this beat literally has breathing in the beat to kind of add into it. It's got snaps. It's got such a nice percussive feel to it. I like the fact that we're on track 5 and he's managed to do something very different instrumentally wise on this album for each song. Something that matches the style of the artist but still adds his own little flair, still managed to make it all a little bit hype, still makes you want to throw it on at your party.
I feel like it also matches the sound of where the artist is from.
Isn't he from New York?
He's from Harlem. Jim Jones is from Harlem. He says it in the track.
So New York?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, unless I'm wrong. Harlem's not in New York. Yeah, unless I'm playing, I know where Harlem is. But yeah, overall, I don't know that I cared a lot about his rapping again in terms of what his rapping was. But I also decided for this review, my focus is on Swizz. It's not necessarily on every rapper coming here bringing in their top A-game delivery. I've noticed that on a lot of these projects, the rappers don't come in and bring their A-game delivery on the producer albums. They save their A-game for their stuff, and they just come in and do their stuff. But I feel like Swizz is still bringing in that excellent production. Like this beat itself, I was just really listening to the amount of layering, the amount of different little things he throws in to create this enthralling experience for Jim Jones to come and like rap over. And then I like the hook, the oh my gosh. Like that's just the kind of hook that I could vibe to most days of the week. Jim sounds fine. He raps, does what he does. I don't have a lot of comments on him. Sorry if you were expecting something super insightful. It's a pretty good 2 verses. It's fine. I gave this song a 4.25 on 5. It was good. It flows on the album. I wouldn't go out of my way to listen to this one, but like if it came on, I'm still gonna let it play through.
Gave the song a 3.5. The beat's okay. It wasn't the better sounding beat to me. I do like what Swizz Beatz did with it. I do agree the breathing in the beat is cool. The certain sounds that he kind of added to it were awesome, but it just wasn't like one of the better beats in my taste. And personally, I don't care for Jim Jones. He has that one song, Ballin' or Fly High, whatever, that was like the song of the year or the day that came out or whatever it was for me when I was younger, but I never actually liked anything Jim Jones did. I don't really particularly enjoy his voice either. And I don't really care for his rapping, so yeah, 3.5. I can respect it. Like, I just want to say I can respect his flow and what he can do, but that's as far as I go.
That's totally fine. Let's move on to the echo.
Throwing piss out the window at police.
Chris, how do you feel about this song?
This is a great song. My first thoughts was it's the first 5-minute track on the album, and Nas is the feature. I don't know if that means anything. Let me know in the comments if you guys think that means anything. Does because Nas's statue of respect or whatever, does that mean he gets a longer track or whatnot? But that was just my own thing.
I had one thought on that.
Which is?
He was stuck with Kanye, who is like, you must make the shortest songs ever. Short songs.
Nazir.
Your album. It can't.
Track album.
Does this actually say 3 minutes, Nas? Shave off 30 seconds. And then he just went in and dropped like a really
see that fucking happening.
Full song here for Swizz Beatz because he could.
You'll cut that 30 seconds off right now.
Anyway, that was just my thoughts on the length.
But I like this. I like what Nas vocally expresses here. I like how Swizz Beatz is starting off and paying his respect to Nas being one of the greatest rappers, being this, being that. And then this is kind of the first time I hear Swizz Beatz kind of go into this like this rapidy vibe that he has like some flow and he's kind of just going about love and respecting each other and all this.
This is the hook. Oh no, that's the next song. I apologize. Nas does the hook of this one.
And then we go into the verse. Verse 1, I feel is like this kind of story-ish vibe. Nas is kind of letting us know about how like the environment is around him, where he grew up. He's got a line: haters walk by, try to stab you if they hug you. Lady on the 4th floor hollering every evening till she planned up, wasn't having it that evening, he was beating her. She ain't have it in the evening. One shot to the neck and to the jugular, now bleeding. She beat the case, but damn, the kid suffered. It's like this very vivid imagery of what kind of happens in this area.
Yeah, like she kills the kid's father because he tried to beat her that one time, and while she didn't go to jail, the kid is going to be traumatized for the rest of his life over that scenario playing out.
Right. And then that's kind of the gist of like the first verse, is kind of like how just dark and kind of like families in these areas are kind of like fucked. And then you go into the second verse, and I feel like he's kind of giving us the insight of him and his crew. Running wild loose, me and my 40 troops were stupid. Style, it was snorkel coats, polo gooses, ruthless goons and wolves, bail jumpers, everybody, everywhere. They was trying to jump us for pumping. It's like, from what I understand, I think maybe pumping is like selling drugs, pumping drugs or whatever. So they kind of have this like money chase aspect. They're the flyest ones on the block. They're just trying to do what they got to do to survive and make the money. And I feel like he's kind of giving us his personal insight there. So that's kind of the gist of verse 2. And then we move into verse 3. And I really like when he goes, I'm talking the black power, talking the white power. I'm talking the Latin power. We got to go for ours. United, yeah, I'm talking united. And he's kind of like trying to say like everybody should just respect one another. And kind of just go equal. There was a part of like ISIS that kind of got really deep. I didn't quite get it, but that was also something worth checking out as well. I don't know if you may have looked up on that.
Well, he's now at war with ISIS, which is the current political enemy in Syria, the thing that they're at war with. But simultaneously, the name Isis is the goddess out of Egypt. And so look how they took something like that black people in their history would worship as something great and have now managed to vilify it. So on a subconscious level, it's like another way the white man systematically brainwashes the black man into submission by taking significant pieces of their history and flipping it into negative.
Thank you for that. That basically summarizes everything I want to talk about the song. It's great. I really like Nas. I like how he does go into these introspective parts, and he always tries to leave a message on a lot of songs that he makes. This landed at a 4.5. I really think that Swizz Beatz made a really good connection with Nas in this song. I feel like they actually sat there together and worked on it, and because there's this certain somberness, this certain eeriness to the vibe of the track that really fits a lot of the dark stories in here, and especially with the first verse, it's like it really just matches up. So 4.5 for me.
Yeah, I could live without Swizz's long-ass intro. I mean, I get that it's his album and it's his song and it's his project, and he wants to introduce Nas and set up a little context of the poisons and the environment and everything, what the album might be about. That's cool. And he doesn't sound bad. Don't get me wrong. He sounds like he flows proper. He sounds like he had a lot to drink that night, and he was chilling with Nas, and there was some bottles flowing, and he just went on a monologue, and they were like, that's authentic and raw. Let's put that shit on the album. That's how I picture it. And then Nas basically touches on everything Nas touches on in his entire career over all of his songs on an album, but like all the subject matter, and then he threw them all into like one track. I thought that was pretty cool. You're right about the first verse, context setting, very serious, very like, I love how he just starts throwing piss out the window at police, chasing with warrants, there was never no peace. It literally starts off, we're on police, we're going in. And that's the environment they're in. I just read Mobb Deep's Prodigy's autobiography, Prodigy's, and yeah, the environment he describes where they come from is pretty fucked up. In terms of like some of that jealousy shit that Nas is putting forth, it was really interesting because Nas really was like the big boy on campus in terms of fame and shit, you know? Everybody did have some haterness going on in that world, and there were
Haterade.
And then, yeah. And then 40 Deuce 40 whatever, that's like calling back to the crew he was coming from, and that was pretty cool. Overall, second verse, I feel like it's showing love to the environment in a way that the first verse might have been kind of bringing awareness to it. The third verse is like, I'm true, I'm real, I'm all about like the proper stuff, etc., etc. What really struck with me is the code of who don't tell or say shit. $1 stay in the hood 18 hours, and white hoods it stays for days. Why it never stay up in hours? And I love that line because I've been learning a lot just about power and wealth and some shit, you know, just in life, systematic bullshits, how things come to be. And it's fascinating how, and it's not necessarily just a white and black thing. I think it's poor people piss away their money. Like, poor people cannot keep money. And unfortunately, most of the people in the hood are poor. So you get your money, and when you do, you get $1,000 check out of nowhere, bonus. First thing you do, blow all that money on companies. And the idea is that instead of buying local and keeping your money in the hood, in the environment, paying it to your local storekeeper, people will go and give a lot of money to a Gucci or a Fendi or all these fashion brands that aren't situated in the hood and frankly don't give a fuck about the hood. They just love the fact that rappers give them so much free promotion that people go and buy their shit. And so you got to consider that means that the black dude makes this much money, and then when that money comes in, he's not keeping the money in the environment. He goes and he spends it and gives the money to an Italian dude.
Well, let's not use any race or nothing. Just people from.
Well, I'm referencing what he's talking about in the song.
Okay.
I think that's completely fair. In white hoods, blah blah blah. Why doesn't it stay in ours? He brought the color into it.
Fair.
And these are just actual statistics and real facts, and this is what it means, you know. So it's like in white hoods, people are more willing to save their money and invest it in their community. And Jews are like the fucking kings of that shit. I don't know. It's kind of like the idea of like, do you go to your local people and buy shit? Or like if there's like a local clothing store or there's a big like fashion retailer downtown, like do you go to your local dude? You know, anyway, do you support your local brands? Everybody's got local brands, that kind of shit. Anyway, moving on. It's just kind of an interesting track. I feel like he dropped a lot of knowledge. Swizz Beatz came at it proper. It was a little smoother. It was a little more serious. It really fit Nas. Overall, I give this song a 4.5. I agree with you. It's very knowledge-driven. It has a lot of interesting points that it touches on, a lot of interesting shit that it has to say. And I kind of wish Nasir had a little bit more of this on it than it had, you know?
Get away from Kanye.
I don't know about that, but I liked it. Not to say I didn't like Nasir, but I feel like it was missing some of the depth of Nas across the whole project. I digress. The next one features the homeboy Pusha T with Cold Blooded.
Yeah, bodega babies. You wonder why these kids of the 90s.
At first, I didn't like the chorus as much because it wasn't Pusha T and whatever, but then it really grew on me. This is the perfect grimy chorus to match what Pusha T's like bringing to the table in his verses. That beat's cold and grimy. Everything's kind of dark. It's going on about some real poison.
Kind of reminds me of Daytona. Like the sound of it kind of reminds me of the similar sound from Daytona.
I think that's because Pusha T just kind of raps like that, you know?
Okay.
But like Pusha T comes in like strong. Like every word he says is fucking potent. Like he makes it feel like every line is like a piece of gold that you need to go and like put up. That's how he delivers his lyrics, and I love his delivery. But it's all context stuff. Black child born in the storm. They had to bundle up to stay warm. Bodega babies. Bodegas are like these poor houses where lots of people would like live and shit, I believe.
Well, it's supposed to also contextualize. I watched the video that was connected to it. It's Pusha T made a thing with Adidas, but they're showing like kind of like the area, I guess, like
right.
projects, hoods, whatever. And they're kind of centralizing around like the food store and kind of knowing about your local area, and everybody kind of knows about each other, and it's like a community. Like I don't know what a bodega is. I'm assuming.
Like I'm saying, a bodega is like if I'm not mistaken, it's a Spanish term for a house with a lot of little people. Grungy house, a lot of people packed into it and shit.
So I guess
like a very common environment in the hood.
Right.
Anyway, strollers in the snow to the candy lady, the sugar make the monsters of the 90s crazy, child rebel soldiers of the inner city, they hate me now, tigers next to Nas and Diddy. And like, you get the sense that for one thing, he's painting a picture of the impact of the 90s and the environment of it, like the people who grew up in that world and the way the drug hit those communities and the whole situation, you know. And then a little bit of flossing about where he's at. But then, just look at the next little bit. His mama fell in love with drug dealing Diddy, the only star left that was next to Biggie. Little did she know she was one of 4, and little did he know he was one of 8. So the kid's mom is like trying to find a flashy drug dealer, player type, because he's gonna have the money and keep her good. And he's going after her because she's fine or whatever. But meanwhile, she's got 7 other dudes she's trying to play, and he's got 3 other chicks she's trying to play. And that's just kind of the world and the environment these kids were growing up in, you know? And it's just kind of fucked up, you know? And that's all that like the fathers were all lazy and the mothers were seeking fast money, and it kind of had an impact of these cold-blooded people. And it's kind of how they became cold-blooded. And then Swizz is kind of like, he's cold-blooded, you know. I like hit everything in daylight, huh? Police ain't coming for some hours. Ain't talking for some hours. So it's just the idea that they can do the clip and know that they have enough time to like bounce out in the middle of daylight because nobody's coming to even check on it because it's whatever. It's the hood.
Nobody really cares. It's like, what is it? The pizza guy comes faster than the cops?
Yeah. And then, or the second verse, you have Pusha T, and it's like, you know, talking about skin color and some racial tensions and shit. But then the little sister don't talk much because her uncle had the Midas touch. Evil is as evil does. Mama looked away, blamed it on his needle buzz. So here it's like the uncle molest the little girl and shit. And the mom just doesn't even want to believe it or whatever, or take it seriously because, oh, whatever, he was just high. It's, oh, whatever. So when you look at all these different situations that they bring in, it's just kind of like, well, if you look at the environment we come from and how cold it is, how can you be surprised that people are the way that they are? It's kind of how I took this song. I thought it was super serious, super fucking intense, really great, like really mature and well-rounded. I guess it's a 5 on 5. This is my favorite song on this project, I think.
I really like how, in terms of discussing like poisons in society, poisons for whatnot, in terms of the album, this is one of the songs that really kind of stood out, and like, not saying it's playing the blame game or whatnot, but like it's really kind of showing you like there is reasons why, you know, certain generations might be a little fucked. There's reasons to explain why certain people act the way they are, and I think there's like conversations that Pusha T is trying to bring light to that maybe families need to have. Society might need to have, maybe things that need to be brought to light, because a lot of the discussions a lot of the things that he was bringing up in this song, it's not too crazy to think that they're still happening now. It's not like it's a big drastic change. The similar shit is still happening to this day, and I like how he really went in and put his passion into it. It was fantastic. I as well. I myself, I think I gave it like a 4.8 or something like that.
That's cool.
Actually a 4.5, but I think it's just overly because it's more of a serious track than it is more of like a hyper track than for me to listen to.
But I think it's cool that instead of just relying on the hypeness that maybe I would come to think of him for, he's showcasing a vast range of emotions and styles he can put forth, which as a producer is maybe the goal of your project, you know?
Absolutely.
Anyway, the next one features Young Thugger with 25 Soldiers.
No rhymes, whoa. Couple millions to the kids that are mine.
First of all, how clear was Young Thug? Ain't no mumbling right there. fucking straight up. I ain't hear no fucking auto-tune reliance. Young Thug is rapping. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not you care about what he's rapping about, that is a very different conversation. I just wanted to point out he was clear. He was on point. His rhythm was proper. And a lot of the criticisms people had about him, I don't know how true they are, because all things considered, you don't have to like him. But I always found he was a clear guy, is all I'm trying to say. Be that as it may, I did not really give two shits about anything he really said.
Let me just contextualize the entire verse, okay? Pay the kid no mind. Slime ball shooting at your spine. Pussy boy pig pork rind. Whoa, pussy buster no rhymes. Whoa, couple millions to the kids that are mine. Only brand new cars. I got style. Everything in those like 4 lines is basically his entire verse. He just found new ways to repeat everything he said there.
He added value in addition to that when he said, "They screaming, we alive, but we killing y'all. 100 bars, what I'm still rapping for. Same reason you made $1 million, still trapping for. You don't bang what I'm banging, what I'm dapping for." And I dig that. I actually thought that was worth bringing attention to in this part, because a lot of people might wonder, okay, if you're so rich, why are you still rapping? Why are you still making songs about money? You're so rich. Why are you still doing that? That's all you have to say. Why are you still doing it? And he makes a brilliant point. If you make $1 million, what, you're going to stop? That's not enough money in 2019. It'll be 2019 soon.
2 months.
End of the day, it's like, well, yeah, if you were able to make millions off of hip-hop,
why not
or
make
rapping,
$1 million more?
If you're Young Thug, why would you not keep coming? If you've been compared to Andre 3000 by Erykah Badu, why would you fucking bounce out of the game? That's all I'm trying to say.
Explain.
On the cover of Jeffrey with his eccentric like attire and stuff, like he looked like in the dresses and shit. Basically, Erykah Badu said, yeah, I looked at that and it reminded me of a young Andre and how eccentric Andre used to be. So I don't think it's that fucking weird to see this thing.
But like in terms of style, you're not talking like rapping or anything. Like they're two different.
But even like rapping wise, he's kind of singy. He's kind of out there. I'm not comparing Andre 3000 as a rapper to Young Thug. I'm saying that style wise, yes.
Yeah.
But like energy wise and vision wise, I think Young Thug's out there in the same way that Andre is out there.
Okay.
I don't hate Young Thug. I never understood the hate towards him. I like Lifestyles. That's a good song. Yeah, Murder, Kill, Bill shit. I heard that. I was out. I got 25 soldiers and 25 holsters. I got 25 soldiers with 25 horse. I mean, it's just one of those songs where you throw it on over a banger beat. And it's just kind of like a fun song. Teddy Sinclair, This Is My Soldier Symphony, da-da-da-da-da. You know, I can't say...
I can respect the fact that they're like making the anthem for the soldiers, the guys that followed them in the hood, in the ghettos, in the projects, and all this shit. I can respect the fact that it's like...
It's a hype enough song.
It's an anthem, and it is hype, but...
I gave it a 4.25 on 5.
3.8.
I thought it was like fun to listen to. Like, if this came on and I'm out, I'm going to really vibe to this because it's got that vibe along.
I'm switching.
But, like, I'm never really going to want to listen to Young Thug ramming in my ears because he doesn't say shit I care about. But he flowed really well in a way that makes me wonder if, like, Young Thug ever got conscious. It could be fucking interesting.
Absolutely.
Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Why don't we stunt on him, Chris? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Stunt. Is this what you want?
Work. I even work on my birthday. This what you want?
I feel like the beat is really great.
The beat is the firest thing I've ever heard on this
It's one of the
album
nicest
so far.
beats on the album.
Woo-hoo.
I gave it a 4. Even though it was one of the nicest beats on the album.
Oh my God, what did I give
I
it?
feel like the chorus is comical. That's the way I'm going to put
Okay,
it.
I gave it a 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times on you, I stunt. And he repeats that a fuck ton.
But I
is
like
that what
how-
you want? No, is that what you want?
But that's the part I like. I like how he's confronting it like, is this what you want? Is this the type of music you want to have made? Where it's super simple, super bullshitty, and it's just da 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 da, stunt on you 10 times. This is what I did. It's catchy. Y'all can repeat it, and that's it. Or do you want something more? You know, like I feel like he's using this as like a troll in a sense.
I
to
get
kinda,
it. I do. I really do.
I mean, it works for me. I fucking love this
But
song.
at the end of the day, you're still
Like,
kind of listening to that.
It's not a 5. It's not a 5, but
you got
like
like his Boo Boo said she want a Bugatti for her birthday. A Bugatti for her birthday? God damn, what'd you do? I got her 2 for her birthday.
But he's emphasizing and then, you know, he follows up and he goes, yeah, I even work on my birthday. He's emphasizing
You know who else works on their birthday? I fucking work on my birthday. Today is my birthday. I'm working.
Well, not the day that this is released, but you get the point.
While I'm recording this, it's my fucking birthday. Go on.
But that's cool, though. Like, he's being Swizz Beatz, he's being quirky, being funny, and he's just flashing off his money, but showing also how hard he is dedicated to work.
I
and
respect
cool.
that.
Right.
I hate the hook.
I can't.
2 Chainz.
2 Chainz verse was a 2 Chainz verse.
I gotta give 2 Chainz credit that he kept flipping up his flow a bit, but like I feel like very little was interesting on the 2 Chainz verse.
He's smoking. He got a girl. You know,
It's not that. I've heard 2 Chainz do some really cool shit. Like look at the Chloroseptic remix. 2 Chainz, in my opinion, can be great. Like look at fucking I'm Different. Yeah, I'm different. But then you got this, and I didn't feel like 2 Chainz was different. I felt like 2 Chainz was the same, and that was my problem with it. Maybe I'm just nitpicking. I didn't feel it on this one. I like 2 Chainz on Mercy. I don't like 2 Chainz on this one. So I landed at a 4. I feel like this was. I get what they're trying to do with the track. I feel like it missed the mark for me. It clearly hit for you. So I give it a 4 because I love the beat. And I can't take anything away from the beat. The beat's good to carry it up that far. But then I could have said anything else and it would have been better.
I gave it a 4 only because I wasn't too impressed with the 2 Chainz verse. I like 2 Chainz. I like
It's like sitting here hyping this shit up all fucking day.
I know. I like the entire track sonically. But
Except
I just
for 2 Chainz.
I don't like the verse. I feel like
2
lyrically
Chainz is
he
part
could have
of the
been a little
sonic
bit more.
experience.
But lyrically he could have done better.
Anyway.
He sounds great. He flows great. I like the fucking bippity boppity bunch of shit he does. But I feel like he could have just put some different lyrics that doesn't sound like I'm different.
It didn't sound like I'm different. Anyway, that's fine. Let's move on then. What did you give this? You gave it a 4, whatever. Let's talk about the last one on this album, SWIZZMONTANA. I'm not a huge French Montana fan. I'd like to start that off and say that. But fuck that, who cares? This is the beat. Now, when I heard Swizz Beatz, there was a sound I had in my imagination that I was hoping for this whole album. And he delivered. It's this sound. Oh my gosh, it just brings me back to being like 15 and trying to dance and shit.
Right.
I mean, there is one purpose to this song. To go out to the club right now, throw your hands in the air, and fucking wave them around like you just don't care. And then also when he goes, everybody talking about they want this money, but when you get the money, everybody acting funny, and then he's gonna drop the beat and everybody gotta yell out, fuck him. Like that. It's that kind of song. And it does it so good. Like, the beat is just so fire. I love it so much. French Montana says things on it. I'm absolutely certain he articulated words.
French Montana says things on it. I'm pretty sure he articulated words.
That's how little I cared.
French didn't say anything memorable.
And I mean, even Swizz, he said stuff. I know he shouted out Big and Pac and things were said on this song. I don't know. Because it was so fire that I was blinded by the fiery goodness of the beat and the overall sound and the hypeness. Like, literally, they could have been saying, kill every white Jew, and I probably still would have felt it. It was fire for how fucking...
I don't think you would have had... Like,
I'm being a little, like, exaggerating, but, like, that's how fire the overall sound is and the way they describe stuff and the way they cut up this song. And French Montana didn't sound annoying in any way, so he's good. He just sounded good over the beat.
He doesn't sound annoying because the beat overpowers his voice.
And I know that all the lyrics are right here in front of me. I just don't care. I gave this a 5. This song is fucking amazing. I just put it on. I want to start moving. I want to start... It's like... It's going right up there in my favorite Swizz Beatz beats category. Like, right up there with shit like Get It on the Floor and stuff. So, like, I'm feeling it. I mean, ultimately, this is about Swizz Beatz' album being dope. This is a dope song from a beat maker putting it on. I mean, I was scared when I saw French Montana. I thought I was going to be, like, shit-talking this or something, because whatever. But no, this is excellent shit, man. I'm fucking feeling this. 5 on 5. Great track.
It's a 4 on 5. French Montana could have been better.
Could he have been?
I mean,
could he have been?
Here's the thing. I don't have much to say about the song. You said everything. It's a great song. It's fucking hype. The beat's amazing.
Hold on. Could he have been? You're implying he could have been better.
Right. I do. Unforgettable wasn't a bad track. What he said on Unforgettable wasn't
That's the one with like Nas in them.
That's the one with Sway Lee.
Oh, I don't know what
You
that is.
are unforgettable.
I don't know that.
Whatever. We reviewed it on the French Montana album.
Did we review a French Montana
Yes,
album?
we did. Dude, holy shit.
I don't even remember shit from that album review.
Fuck. Okay, but all right. So I just want to say this because my point goes into the album itself. The song was great. It was hype. It was cool. French could have been better in terms of lyrically, but I always
could have been.
But that's the thing. I always say that. I always think French could just be better
I don't
lyrically.
think French can be better.
I have hope.
I don't think French can be better.
I have hope.
I don't think French can be better without better rappers writing his verses. Throwing it out there.
All right, fair.
I don't
fair,
really like French Montana as a rapper.
Anyway, so I left the song at a 4.
That's a head banger.
And you know, it is a great way to end the album. The thing though is moving into the album discussion, I get it that it's a Swizz Beatz album. I get it that, you know, we don't really need to give a shit about the lyrics or anything like that.
No one said you can't.
Right, no, I get that. But my thing is though is that as a producer, as somebody who's releasing this project and you're actively selecting to pick these rappers, like I do credit the lyrics. Now, yes, I credit the lyrics from the artist. I credit Wayne as Wayne and Drake and whoever the fuck's on the album. And I credit Swizz Beatz for the beat, for the instrumentals. But at the end of the day, I'm the guy listening to the final product. And if your beat is super amazing, but the guy on the beat is not that great or the lyrics aren't that great, your grade takes a hit. Because at the end of the day, you're putting out this project with this person. You still have decided to sit down and been like, I want you on my album. I'm not dissing any of the rappers on the album. I'm not dissing the production or nothing. I'm just saying
diss
that,
French Montana.
No, I'm not dissing French. I actually am sitting here saying he can do better. I believe in the man.
Well, that's saying he didn't do better now.
He didn't do that good lyrically on the track.
It's kind of a diss, Chris.
Well, fine. Suck it up, Buttercup. At the end of the day, if you're going to make a project, and it's just like the DJ Khaled album too, I kind of look at it the same way, even though they're different. Even though they're different producers, DJ Khaled chose certain rappers to be on a thing. There's certain songs on that album.
All I'm trying to say is, like, at the same time, song content doesn't really matter on this project. So it's not like the content of the album was the most important thing. The idea is Swizz Beatz working with all these different people flexing his style.
I understand that, but I just feel like I'm also looking at the title, Poison, and the fucking the album art. It's like they're for me, I guess maybe I anticipated high expectations. That could have been my fault, fine. But I'm saying like you had this powerful intro about like all these things and like darkness and what you're learning.
But it kind of was about hip hop. And in that regard, I do think that all the songs were about hip hop in some way or another.
I agree with that.
And he kind of pointed out the poison of it all. And then that's a lot of what was touched on. So all I'm saying is I get what you're saying in terms of maybe not liking the delivery of a particular rapper or not caring about Jim Jones because you didn't like that one.
Well, Jim
that's
Jones
fine.
and Thugger were the two I didn't like.
But like, where I'm going with it is I think that if this was a Young Thug album, I might care more about what Young Thug brings to the table. But lately, I found myself trying to take a step back and listening to just the overall sound of it. This album, if it comes on most days of the week, for me at least, it's going to sound fucking great when I hear it, you know?
Right.
It's not an album to sit there and focus on. And it's not me, but it is something that if I'm walking up the street and I put this shit on, I might be dancing up the street now, you know? And that's a cool effect that it has. And I think that it's so well produced and that the chemistry between the different beats and the different rappers he worked with showcased his versatility and his ability to meet their styles while still keeping this core consistency throughout the album.
Right.
So I think when you're working with that many different vocalists, if he had just stuck with maybe the same type of person or whatever and not been so... Because he was drastically different on it. I mean, you literally have Nas and Young Thug on the same album now. I'm not saying it didn't happen before, but that's literally what's going on here.
Right.
So when you're going that different with it, your goal is not the same. Like, I can't look at this the way I would look at, like, a Nas album. You know, this is like...
Well, like, look at it this way. We just reviewed 3 albums today. And if you think about it, look at... take Vince Staples' album. How are you critiquing Vince Staples' album compared
Very
to
similarly.
this?
And I think that in a lot of cases, the content wasn't as relevant as the overall sound. Because the sound drives those things. While the content on Vince Staples' album was more consistent to Vince. In this case, every song was a very different grab bag of style based on a particular artist. But at the end of the day, I think Swizz Beatz did it proper. I mean, I get it's a 4.48 on 5. I think it's a really well-made album. It's my favorite album of the 3 we listened to today in terms of being able to just throw it on and enjoy the music. If I want some pensive shit, probably none of these 3 are the ones I'm going to. If I want some lyrical shit, probably none of these 3 are the ones I'm going to. But as far as like albums that have cool vibes and sounds, I think all 3 of them hit a very different vibe and sound that were consistently good worth listening to. So yeah, I think it's a great album, this Swizz Beatz one, for what it is. But none of them are like super long, full-length projects to me. They're all basically EPs as far as I'm concerned in terms of what was actually brought to the table. It's like a bunch of little tastes and stuff. Anyway, I liked it. I'd recommend this Swizz Beatz to anybody that likes Swizz Beatz. If you like them, give it a chance, but listen to it more than once because it might take a couple seconds to find the nuances in the beats.
I gave the album a 4.1. I do enjoy it, except for the 2 tracks. You know, I do agree. I think that putting this album on in terms of like a party or the proper setting, I think, you know, it would get by and it would do its job. It would be a nice hype up and some music that you can just kind of play and get some shit done. It's gym workout, running, whatever. It's just hype music.
It is what it is, man. I mean, you can't expect to pimp a butterfly when it's a Swizz Beatz project. No offense to Swizz Beatz, but they don't do the same things, you know? But I think from a music perspective, it was so versatile and so excellent that it's worth paying attention to from the intro all the way through to the songs. Anyway, thank y'all for watching it. It's really cool that you stuck with us and have checked out our reviews. This is the end of our 3-parter episode 100 of Headspace Podcast, coming up on 2 years straight of doing this shit. So thank you for being a part of this journey with us. For those who have been with us, for those of you who are new, what's up? Thanks to our patrons, Linda Williams, Super Old School 1994, Chris Prattle, and Ismail Gadamsi. They support us directly.
Thank you.
If you hit the right tier, you can force our hand in terms of making us do certain albums. Once a month, we pick one straight from the patrons. And when you sign up to that, you get a free album. Otherwise, you can get access to some content early. And if you're not interested in any of that shit, you can subscribe to the channel for more shit. We'll have more reviews coming. Hit that like button if you dug it. Hit that dislike button and tell us why in the comments if you did not. And either way, just leave a comment. I'll answer you. Let's have a conversation. Let's make this more than just us blabbering at you. Peace, and we'll catch you soon.